The new league of Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalguer, or 3.25, launches in a few days. Choosing your league start is going to be particularly difficult this league. It really does feel like the game has been turned on its head given the sheer number of changes listed in the patch notes. Anyone who tells you they have a fully fleshed out build guide at this point probably isn't fully correct. My favourite ascendancy and two of my favourite mechanics have made a comeback: the Gladiator, Block, and Bleed. Not to mention, Melee has seen some huge buffs. Oh, and did I mention Valpact is back at its former glory, 100% instant leech. That's crazy. All in all, I should be able to build a really strong character. Not only offensively, but defensively as well. Lucky Block gives us about 88% chance to block. And that's not just for attacks, that's spells too. Some of this is down to versatile combatant changes, where the block cap reduction has been reduced from 25% to just 10%. I am not going to try and tell you that this build is fully fleshed out. It's far from it. There will be many changes as I get into the league and experiment. What I can tell you is I've leveled Bleed builds when Bleed has been at its weakest and still managed to get them to work with decent damage. So this video is really just to share with you the tree, which I'm showing on screen now, but also the order I intend to get the ascendancies. The first ascendancy I'm going for is Gratuitous Violence. This gives us bleed explosions in the first lab, not the second. This will speed up leveling no end as we get glorious pops throughout the low level campaigns. Next is going to be Determined Survivor. What this skill does if you have a shield is it basically takes the block roll off the shield and replaces it with a flat 50% chance to block. This will be a huge boost to our defences in the early game, more than doubling the block chance of any lower level shield. The reason I didn't choose War of Attrition this early is that we don't have many boss fights that last any length of time. We will however be getting this towards the end of Act 10, ready for the final Katartha fight. Last, I'll be getting More Than Skill. This makes our block chance lucky if we've blocked recently. What lucky refers to with block is each time we block, we roll the dice twice. If we happen to block with either of those, we will block. With our block chance at cap at 65% with the new versatile combatant, this effectively gives us 88% chance to block. Well, just slightly lower, but somewhere between 87 and 88. This will mean that we're blocking at least once every 4 seconds, which means this buff will be up pretty much all the time. Once we get to endgame, I will also be equipping Valpact. You never want to get Valpact too early because it makes running the labyrinth a complete pain in the ass. The link to the POB will be in the description. You'll note that there's very little gear in there, and that's because I don't like planning out gear. I like to see what I drop. That said, we'll be going for armor bases with decent resistances. We also want flat physical damage, and also a fair amount of attack speed. First off, for leveling, I'm going to level with Splitting Steel. This got a decent buff. Once I get to level 28, I'll be switching to Bladestorm. In the meantime, we'll be carrying a Lacerate gem with us whenever we run lab to try and get the Lacerate of Hemorrhage. I really want to hold out for this gem before we switch to Lacerate, and that's because it has 20% higher base attack speed. This just makes it feel so much better for leveling. Don't forget the bandit changes that have occurred as well. I will be going Alira to get the resistances, but then getting the extra skill gem from the crypt, which I will go much earlier than usual. Keep an eye on my channel as we move through the early league, as I'll be publishing frequent updates to both community and in videos. At the end of this video, I will leave links to some of my past videos on bleed builds and mechanics so you can learn more. The mechanics video is pretty out of date, but some of the stuff still holds. If you are following any of my leveling guides, then please take them with a pinch of salt. So much has changed that it's almost impossible for these to be fully accurate. I am so hyped for this new league. It is the biggest thing we've seen in a long time. I hope you are too. And with that, best of luck, Exile, and I'll catch you on the next one.